Hello and welcome to Bethel Baptist Church Daily Thoughts Week 5, Day 2. I think we're on Week 5, I think that's right. Week 5, Day 2. I'm going to read from Acts 7, verses 23 to 32. When Moses was 40 years old, he decided to visit his own people, the Israelites. He saw one of them being ill-treated by an Egyptian. So he went to his defense and avenged him by killing the Egyptian. Moses thought that his own people would realize that God was using him to rescue them, but they did not. The next day, Moses came up upon two Israelites who were fighting. He tried to reconcile them by saying, "Men, you are brothers. Why do you want to hurt each other?" But the man who was ill-treating the other pushed Moses aside and said, "Who made you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian yesterday?" When Moses heard this, he fled to Midian, where he settled as a foreigner and had 2 sons. After 40 years had passed, an angel appeared to Moses in the flames of a burning bush in the desert near Mount Sinai. When he saw this, he was amazed at the sight. As he went over to get a closer look, he heard the Lord say, "I am the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Moses trembled with fear and did not dare to look. Now, some of you may be thinking, we're in Acts, why are you reading an Old Testament scripture? Well, basically what's going on is Stephen has been captured, and I'm sure if you've been listening to the Daily Thoughts, there's been some Daily Thoughts on this chapter already, but basically Stephen's put to trial and they say that he's blaspheming against God and he's not teaching what he's going against the law of Moses and what he says. So Stephen basically talks about the Old Testament and talks about this story of Moses and how basically what Moses did in his life, which I think is great. But what is the reason that he does that? Because these Pharisees, these people that have captured him, know the Old Testament. Like, they knew the book, they knew the Torah, they knew the Old Testament very well. So why was Stephen talking about the Old Testament to them? Well, basically, Stephen wanted to show and reveal to them that there were some things in the Old Testament that were really relevant for now, and actually that it would go against some of what the Pharisees thought. So one interesting thought is that these Pharisees believe that, like, the temple is the place where God meets with people. So Stephen talks about Moses at the burning bush to say that no, God meets people wherever, and this happened in the Old Testament. So he was sort of trying to persuade them in a way to be like, no, your thoughts are actually not right, because Jesus met with people outside the temple, but God met with people outside of the temple in the Old Testament. So that was one thing that he was trying to do. Basically, he was trying to shake the Jewish history, that, you know, the things that may not have been considered, Stephen was trying to get them to consider that. And eventually, as you go on into the passage in the chapter, you realize that Stephen is eventually stoned. But what Stephen was trying to do was trying to get to a level of where to meet the Jewish people. And I think that's helpful for us. So it's helpful to remember that God meets with people outside the temple, which is so relevant right now when we're not even allowed in church. That God meets people where they're at, not in the church. But also, what do we do when we talk to our non-Christian friends about faith? Do we meet them on a level that they're at? Or do we sort of come in and tell them that if you look at the facts of creation, there's no doubt that this is real, this is definitely real? Or do we meet them where they're at? You know, do we just help them alongside and maybe not even mention anything, but they'll be like, oh, there's something different about you. The way you love, the way you care for me, the way you respect me. You know, it's not good if we're trying to, you know, bring all this theology on someone and the person's here, but we're trying to meet them here. We've got to meet people in the middle. And that's what Stephen was doing in order to try and persuade the Pharisees that Jesus was real and Jesus was the Messiah. He met them on a level which would have made them understand a bit more. And although eventually they didn't understand, the whole point was Stephen was trying to reveal to them that Jesus was real and God can meet them wherever outside the temple to challenge their thinking. So that's my thought today. Are we challenging people's thinking? Are we meeting people where they're at rather than trying to argue with them or trying to give points that are way above our thinking? So yeah, good morning to everyone who said good morning. It's great for you to be able to join. But yeah, those were my thoughts today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on Sunday. Sunday is the youth service takeover, which is going to be great. There's going to be a lot of different things going on. So hope to see you there. But have a great day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.